Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Libra. If Libra is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. So this is a bonus reading for Libra. And we have the Death card tonight. Don't worry. It is not usually what we think it might be, right? So often it is kind of the end of something that does not serve us well anymore. The beginning of unclogging some kind of spiritual or emotional blockage. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what the tea leaves have to say. Okay, so immediately, first let me say, if you haven't subscribed, please think about doing that. It's free to subscribe. Also, if you want to drop a like or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Okay, so we have a person here. You can see the head right in here, maybe this cool hat. I love that hat. And maybe like a little dress or a robe or, something like this, a big jacket, and holding a flower. Okay. Now over here, I see we have a person who has their mouth open and they're walking along. It looks like they're singing. Okay. So I immediately get this feeling that you have been in a place where, you are absolutely feeling spirit just moving through your life in all aspects. You are in this place of kind of singing your song and stopping and looking at the flowers, admiring the beauty in the world around you, feeling like you really have a place here. You are where you're supposed to be. Feeling the gratitude, that, hey, I woke up today and I'm here, I'm doing my thing. There's so much beauty around me, even in the troubles, the blessings in the troubles. And this is a beautiful configuration. I love the person down here singing. Absolutely love it. You can always tell in my household when everybody's in a good mood because we're all humming and singing and dancing around in the kitchen, and that's, it's going to be a good day. So seeing this, I can tell you are in a happy period here. Now, as we turn this a little bit, it looks like we still have the person wearing the hat, almost kind of like a witch's hat, okay? Now we have the nose, we have the mouth, and maybe the chin right here. And, and so I would not be surprised if on some level, now maybe you don't consider yourself a witch or a practitioner of magic, but you absolutely come from a line of people who maybe weren't witches, okay? I'm not saying there's any, but spiritually inclined, probably clairvoyant or, has sight to see, as we like to say, your third eye wide open, intuitive, a healer, maybe mediumship or channeling, divination, whatever it is, okay? I feel like this is something that is in your blood. It's in your DNA. And I feel like at this point in your life, you are coming into really accessing this knowledge that you have, okay? Now it's maybe been something that has always been part of your life, and it, in some ways it's benefited you, and maybe you didn't spend a lot of time with it. It wasn't necessarily something that you were very interested in, or whatever it was. But I do feel like in this period of of your path, there is a sense of opening and initiation. Okay, so coming into a place where, yeah, your abilities, your powers, your your talents within kind of the spiritual, psychic, supernatural, whatever you want to call it, these things they're very potent, right? And I think that there's a real desire to learn to kind of work with them more directly and actively. So I feel like you are starting your school of witchery, or I don't usually like to use that word too much because it is a very particular kind of practitioner, right? And only belongs to a few systems, okay? But there's nothing wrong with the witch either. I don't like to be called a witch because I'm not one. I actually don't really care, but it's not really accurate. People have called me it because of, my magical workings, or, maybe they were calling me it because they didn't like me. I don't know. But yes, I have been called that more than once in my life. Probably more than once in the last month. But, I look at this and I just feel it is a beautiful rising. And I also feel this energy of kind of transmitting almost like an aura, a light, a frequency from self, and really bringing in like-minded people into your life. I could see you maybe joining some kind of study group, or maybe like back in the day. I mean, this is ancient, it feels like. They maybe still have it, I don't know, but they used to have this website called meetup.com back in like the wild west of the internet. And when I lived in the city, there were tons of different kinds of magical traditions, and they'd have meetups, and whatever it was, Gnostic mass or some kind of like pagan ritual, or some kind of symposium on I don't know, the art of the divine. I don't know. Am I allowed to say prostitute? I'm going to say that anyways. I don't care. Something like this, some kind of study or whatever. I'm just using random examples, but maybe they still have these things. I don't know if they have that website, but I know that even on like Facebook and stuff, you can find these groups all over the place. Now, it doesn't have to be local. You could do it remotely. But I could see you kind of getting into almost kind of a sisterhood, or, well, I'm assuming too much here. It doesn't have to be a sister, whatever, a kinship, a family of spiritual beings. Okay, celestial siblings. And I don't think that this is something that you necessarily yearn for, but I think that it is something that maybe your heart wants on some level, right? And yeah, being a Libra, I don't think that you like to connect with people, but I don't think it's like you have to be super social, and you're not really a belonger, right? But I could see you, kind of in the hidden parts of your inner workings, in your heart of hearts, really feeling like, wow, wouldn't that be nice to have like a group of solid friends that are, all doing spiritual work of some kind, and we can come together and we can build together and we can discuss and we can, lift each other up and support one another. It sounds pretty amazing. It does. Okay. I don't know though. I'm a Virgo, so maybe, I don't know if August Virgos are as solitary as I am. I don't know. Although, you know, my sister, and I'm sure she's fine with me saying this, but she is also a practitioner of magic. And she is a September Virgo. And she is in this cool group where she, you know, they study a lot of different things. But it's kind of a, I think they call it like a shamanic group of people. And before you get on me, we are in fact indigenous to the Americas. So we're Choctaw. So we're allowed to use that word. But yes, she is involved in that and she loves it. So maybe it's just me as a Virgo. I don't know. Because she's a different kind of Virgo for sure. But yes, I think that, you know, this is something that you absolutely, you know, maybe not be seeking, but I could feel this, you know, this pull that you have, people coming towards you, you know, looking for, connection, you know, and, I don't think that it's something that you would be mad about necessarily. Now, let's look at this. We have a bison or a buffalo, kind of, people call it a buffalo. It's actually a bison. And you can see kind of the arch in the back there and the low head. And a beautiful, beautiful animal. And within symbolism, one of my favorites, probably because it's my first totem animal, which my father had experienced it through vision work when I was young. So something that is very beloved to me, very special symbol. But I look at this and I see, you know, that there's this feeling of just such resilience and really being so steadfast in a lot of aspects of your life. You at times can get kind of dug into a belief or you know, something that you feel it speaks to my morality, my ethics, how things should be done, and so on. And that's commendable, you know, but sometimes we do have to look over these things and think, is this limiting? Is this something that is kind of holding me back? Where do these beliefs come from? Is this like conditioning? Is this something that's, you know, even really very meaningful to me anymore? Is this just something that's I've always kind of felt and I just kind of stick to it? And it also kind of makes me wonder, is that why now later in your life you are kind of now getting in touch with your abilities? You know, maybe it's something that you have tried to ignore or you felt like was foolish or something that shouldn't be, you know, messed with for one reason or another. But I do feel that, you know, even in this time of kind of a pretty big shift, right, in your life, you are still very firm in the places that you need to be, right? And so it is kind of this, I almost feel like learning to relinquish the perception of control in your life, right? And this to me is where this death card comes in, because it is kind of this feeling of letting your firm grip on things, letting them loosen up, letting the need to always feel like you know what's going on, and yeah, this is exactly how I imagined it, and it's okay, and you know, I perceive this to be safe, so I'm okay being here in this place in my life, and you know, kind of always staying in that zone, that comfort zone. But I feel like in this time, it's like there has to be something to kind of break it up a little bit, because if not, you kind of almost are looking to be in this fixed state, you know? Like, I almost imagine like, you know, the urge to like find a home and stay there for generations. You want to lay down roots. You want to make sure that your, you know, great grandkids can live on the same land and everything else like that. But the reality of life is that things change. They're never the same. They never stay the same. And, you know, we can spend our entire life trying to, you know, stop the flow, the evolution of things around us, within us, of us. But we absolutely can't. Okay. And I do, we end up spending so much time trying, and we've lost so much precious time doing that. You know, I think of, and this isn't to come down on anybody who, you know, does things like surgical, or, you know, using all kinds of potions and tinctures and whatever to stop the aging process. I can understand it. Somewhere in my mind, I get it. But I also kind of don't. You know what I mean? And that's mostly because I look forward to being old. You know, I hope, I pray, I get on my knees and I pray, literally, you know, for the, hopefully the gift of more years so that I can be with my daughter. But never have I had an interest in, you know, kind of preserving youth or anything like that. So I kind of get, but I do understand the impulse. Now, where I see that it kind of, you know, I wonder about it, this kind of fixation that some of us can get into. And then that is the work for you, right? And that's where you have focused so much time and energy, and you inevitably cannot stop anything, especially, you know, time and as we perceive it. And and it's almost kind of a, you know, it's kind of a sad thing. You know, you think, what the heck? What could I have been doing with my time instead, right? Same thing with trying to preserve a relationship that just does not work, you know? And you know, it just keeps falling apart, and it's good for a little and it falls apart. And it's, you know, and it's like you spent years doing this and you think, my gosh, what could I have been doing instead? Excuse me. So I feel like in this time, and I'm sorry, I had to take a little drink there. In this time in your life, there really is this opportunity to allow yourself to kind of go against the things that you have been trying to retain, you know, the way that you set up your life, this very neat and organized plan, and trying to abide, right? Trying to abide the construct of your reality that you have built for yourself. And listen, we all do this. It's not just you, Libra. We all do it. But I do feel like this is a time where it's like there's a big awakening happening. It could be very jarring, you know, because often what happens is that we begin to see all the stuff that we found so meaningful, that felt so important, and if we could keep it the same, we would feel safe, and like we you know, have you know, created some kind of legacy or monumental thing of our life. And then suddenly something changes and it's like, none of this really means that much. What have I been doing, you know? And that can be really destabilizing. So if that is the case, if you are going through this kind of transition in your life and you do find yourself kind of feeling like you're spiraling, or it feels like it's out of control, or you're feeling like deep grief. And that's the thing. You do feel grief for a life that you once had, and it's now it's changing quickly, at least the way that you perceive it is. And so please make sure that you have support. If you have access to therapy or counseling or, something like that. I bring it up in most of my readings because I believe it's so important to go along with the spiritual work. But if you have support people or somebody to talk to, or a support group, or whatever it is, make sure you're checking in. Make sure that you're checking in with self and you're checking in with people that you trust. Okay? Because you don't need to do this alone. And especially if it feels overwhelming, you don't need to do it alone. Okay? But you're a strong one. You are. You're that buffalo. Or I said the buffalo. It's not. It's the bison. You're the bison. Okay? And there is such a... if you've ever seen bison in real life, their stature is just... it's almost overwhelming. They're so beautiful. They're so big and powerful. And the way that they stick together with their family, and the way that they move and watch out for each other, it's magnificent. It's something so beautiful. And I feel, there's just such a strength. You have the heart of a lion, right? Or, some kind of beast, not derogatory, but beast, and, strength and power. Now, also we have, it looks like a 16 here. 1, 6. I'm trying to see, what else do we have? I've been trying to see what this is over here. And it looks to me like I, heart, R. So an R name. And this one's pretty. It looks like somebody raising their arms in praise and awe. All right, let's see. We have, what are you? I don't want to move you too much. Oh, 5. Okay, so we have a 5. It looks like 511. 511, possibly. Now, we also have a bird who's sitting here, and you can see kind of looking up. We have a worm, and we have a worm or a snake or something like that. And it seems like... Well, when the bird shows up, I know that you're having some kind of message here from somebody who has probably transitioned. Maybe it's an ancestor, an elder of some kind. But I feel like there's this message coming through of watch out. You have some real opportunities coming up here. The worms are not unlike when we see the fish in the readings. Abundance. Some kind of, maybe monetary or resources within your physical life, your waking life, coming through. So be ready for that, because it's not just going to fall in your lap. You have to, be out there looking for it, getting it. So, you have somebody watching out for you, and they're telling you, hey, pay attention. There's something coming along for you. And so that's exciting. Definitely exciting. Throwing leaves all over the place here. All right. Libra, let's take a look. We have the Wild Bohemian Affirmation cards. These are the fire element. And I'm going to go ahead and we'll just flip through, stop where it feels right. Okay, these are really pretty cards. They are. I love the artwork. And it says, I am seer. Your multi-dimensionality is beyond beautiful. Open with joy to new consciousness. Yes, I like it. Multi-dimensionality. Beyond beautiful. It is. It is. I second that. Okay, Libra, I love you, and I hope that you know that, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you, and if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I would love to hear from you. I read every comment, every email. It might take me a minute to get back to you. I try my best. I try my best. And it drives me nuts, honestly, because in my real life, as a human being, out here doing my thing, I like to get things done immediately. I do not like them to be waiting. Every day, you can ask my husband, shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot, my husband Paul over there. I have a schedule for every day. I know what we're doing in, a week from now, for sure. All the things. I keep the calendars, I keep the lists, I have, I'm working out, how can we do this from that, and I want to get it done as soon as I can. So I feel bad when it takes me a minute, but it's not because I don't care. I care very much. But it's the life of a mama over here. And so, but yes, I thank you and I love you. And what else? Oh, there was the thing about the bots. Yes. So I've been noticing that we've been having some bots again in the comments, the ones that they clone the channel. It looks like my channel. But it's not me commenting. Usually you can tell. It's like something that's like, oh, send, whatever to this WhatsApp, and it has weird letters and stuff. That's not me, okay? That's, something. I don't know if it's a computer or a person or what, but so today there were ones that were a little bit more strange. Where they were saying things like, oh, contact Max immediately. Well, I don't know anybody named Max. And why would I be saying that to people? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was about or what they are, but I blocked them from the channel, and, they just keep popping up. So please be careful, be vigilant. If you can't tell if it's me or not, you can go ahead, leave a comment. Don't leave it on the thread. Like, don't reply to where you saw that comment. Do a separate comment, right? So then it will come up in my notifications, and I can answer you, hey, that, I'm going to go block that person because it's not me. Or if you don't feel like doing it in the comments, you can always email me. The email is ulaishere, and ulaishere@gmail.com, and you can find the email in every description of the the readings and the videos, and there you can just email me directly if you don't know how to comment, or if you don't want to comment, or you're afraid that you'll be commenting to somebody who's not me. You can absolutely reach me at that email, and I will let you know, hey, yeah, that is me, or no, it's not, and I will take care of it. So, and I appreciate all of you who do tell me, bring it up, and also report those those fake channels and stuff. Now, all of this also applies to my husband's channel over there. Paul's channel gets it just, you know, so much because he has so many subscribers. And so if you are somebody who watches his channel and my channel, you know, you can let us know, either of us. And, you know, obviously we're in communication with each other, and we help each other with all of the background stuff and for our channels. So, but I've had people come over and say, hey, I didn't know if Paul would see this. I wanted to tell you, and then I see it, and then, you know, I let him know and stuff. So, we thank you. You guys are the best, honestly, for real, for real. And yeah, so that's it tonight. All right. I love you. We'll talk in a few days, and take care of yourself. Good night. Good night. Good night.